It was an exciting day, finally moving into our one bedroom with the loft apartment. I've always wanted a loft in my apartment, a loft style apartment, or whatever you call them. It was perfect. Past the front door was the living room, beyond that was the kitchen with the bathroom to the left, and straight past the kitchen was the bedroom, and above the kitchen and bedroom was the loft. I had my sage in tow, ready to burn and to cleanse this place before unpacking our belongings into this new chapter in our lives. Everything was peachy the first couple of days there, until I started to get an uneasy feeling of being watched. Sensitive people runs in my family. I would get an impression of a man sitting on a stool with his elbows resting on the kitchen counter right before I left the restroom after a shower. But no one would be there. The sensation was so strong that every day I felt would be the day for some stranger to be there. This was soon an everyday thing. There was also the instant eyes looking down on me from the loft once I stepped into the living room alone. Before entering the living room, I would get the impression of a gentleman leaning on the rails of the loft, looking down. When I entered the living room, I would look around expecting to see someone, but I only felt the presence and nothing more. The sensation didn't stop when I would glance in the direction either. This was only the beginning and was a daily occurrence, but I didn't say anything. My partner knew I was a sensitive. We've had past experiences together. I normally kept the bedroom door open during the day. However, this day was different. I was feeling really uncomfortable all day, so I shut the door while my partner was away at work. It didn't take long for something to happen. There was no mistaking the sound. I heard it as clear as day. Heavy footsteps heading rapidly towards the bedroom door from the living room, I would guess. Our floor did not creak, but it creaked this day. I froze while I was sitting on the bed and stared at the door, waiting for someone to walk in. It's possible my partner got off early, but nothing. No one entered. I waited and waited, not looking away from the door, and then the footsteps happened again. But it wasn't reversing directions. It's as if it started all over again from the living room. My partner wore boots to work, and this individual definitely had on boots, but it didn't make sense. They were obviously bigger and heavier, and they stopped at the bedroom door again. I was hoping that it was at least the maintenance guy now. This time, it started again sooner, and what was odd, my professional barker, a toy Morkie, sat up yet remained silent, also staring at the door. He was never silent. He barks at every sound, but not today. There was a thumping in my chest, and as the seconds slowly passed by, it thumped harder. I felt frozen in fear and couldn't move. What if someone was robbing us? What if they were armed? I knew no one in the area or the state for that matter. I relocated for my partner, and it took everything in me to push myself off the bed. I grabbed one of my heels, readying to defend myself, as I walked slowly and quietly towards the door. The footsteps stopped, but that didn't seem to ease the tension. I was so afraid. I laid my hand on the doorknob. Then I heard it. I heard breathing on the other side of the door. My eyes grew wide and I couldn't move. I had the heel in my hand gripped tight. The breathing stopped, and it felt like I was frozen still forever before a cold sweat rolled down my back. My dogs still haven't moved or made a sound. I gripped the doorknob tighter and counted to 10. My heart was ready to burst out of my chest. I began turning the doorknob slowly. It felt like an eternity. I opened the door to nothing. No sound, no person. But I didn't feel safe yet. I stepped into the kitchen and grabbed a knife before tiptoeing to peek inside the bathroom. I took a deep breath and looked quickly into the bathroom, then paused. There was nothing there, but the shower curtain was drawn. I slid into the bathroom slowly sideways, with my back towards the bedroom and front facing the living room. I took a long, deep breath and walked towards the dreaded curtains. I couldn't let them know I was in the bathroom, and I was ready to attack in a moment's notice. With my heel in one hand and the knife in the other, I inched my way towards the curtain with my nose centimeters away from contact. I used the knife and barely moved a small section of the curtain with my heel ready to strike. My vision went dim, and when I looked, there was nothing, just an empty tub. Finally, I was able to exhale. Exiting the restroom, the living room was in full view, decorated with only 2 wooden stools, but there was 2 more places to check before I was safe: the loft and the coat closet by the front door. My dog remained about 4 feet behind me, and I decided to take a mad dash for the door without looking back up towards the loft. My goal was to make it outside, and whoever was in there could have the apartment for themselves. With every courage within me and every amount of speed I could muster, I took off running without another second's thought. This wasn't like the movies where you fumbled with the lock before escaping. I was able to unlock the door and swing it open fairly easily. The cold Virginia air hit me in the face with the cold, refreshing realization that I made it out. The cold didn't seem to bother me because I was still riled up good. I stood still in the snow with my heart hammering in my chest. And oddly enough, I was sweating. In front of my front door, I was finally able to breathe and think semi-clearly. I didn't have a jacket on or shoes on my feet. My car keys were still inside, and I left my cell phone on the bed. It was me, my barker of a dog, who seemed to lose his voice somehow, and the knife in my hand since I dropped the heel to unlock the door. Okay, I can do this. I got this, and it's going to be okay. I stepped up to the door that I left wide open. I placed a hand on the outside wall to hold my balance and my right foot in the entrance as I slowly peeked inside and up towards the loft. From where I stood, I see nothing. I moved past the entrance cautiously and reached a hand towards the coat closet with the front door between myself and the closet. My hand touched the handle, and I paused for a moment, then quickly swung the door open with all my force, and nothing was there. I heard my breathing in my ears. The only place left was further back in the loft. It was still possible for someone to hide in the back corner or by laying flat on the floor. I entered the apartment fully now and jumped up, but couldn't get a good view. I climbed on a stool and tiptoed, yet nothing. I took my time climbing the completely vertical ladder up to the loft as to not alert anyone. As soon as I made it to the top, nothing was there. I was confused. My muscles relaxed a little, and I jumped off the ladder and landed in a squat position and searched my place all over again, and it was all clear. I searched with the front door left open, and my dog was nowhere in sight. I ran outside and looked downstairs to find him having fun in the snow all by himself. But that wasn't the last experience with this mysterious visitor either.